Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I will be talking about swipes. Alright, so Swiped is the official origin story of apps like Tinder and Bumble, and of course it's not only that. Alright, yeah, the movie has those elements in it because it's important to the story that they are telling, but this is mostly a movie about Whitney Wolfe and the things she has had to endure in her life. And Whitney Wolfe, if you don't know who she is the CEO of Bumble and also the co-founder of Tinder. She made the name and she did other stuff within the app. If you want to know more about it, watch the movie, of course. So yeah, she's a very important figure, but she also had a lot of batshit crazy things to endure. Most of these things are due to sexism, and yeah, this is a movie basically about that. And I have to say that I really enjoyed this one. I was extremely invested. Most of that is to do with Lily James and her performance. I always love Lily James in films, and she plays Whitney Wolfe with such care, with such integrity, to make sure that you all like her character, to make sure that you all feel for her. For when everything happens and everything goes down, you really feel bad for her. You really feel that she is the victim in all of this, which she obviously was, so extremely well performed by that. The movie has some fictionalized elements to make sure that the story is cinematic enough, which are also nice. It works extremely well. There are some things that are worth talking about, though. It's extremely notable that Whitney Wolfe, the real person, hasn't participated on making this film because she legally can't. So you can take some things maybe with a grain of salt. It's not really clear. They never make it clear at what is fictionalized or what is real or what is just speculated. They just show a side of the story that is important to tell, because it's important that people know what happens behind the scenes of these apps, and these apps that you may or may not like and may or may not use and may or may not approve of. It's very interesting and very important to see what went on behind the scenes of those apps if you use them frequently. It's a very interesting movie. It's a very it's a very insightful movie in that regard. I do have some problems with it, mainly, and I speak this as a person who has used dating apps before. I stopped using them because I genuinely don't think they ever work. I know stories of people, and the Tinder babies, of course, for people who it had worked for. I don't say it's a complete failure, but I do think, my personal opinion on dating apps, that it's just a meat grinder where people only rate each other on the likes of their likeness and not of their personality, which is always a problem. But yeah, you do not talk about anything personality. You do not like anyone based on their personality. You only like them based upon how many squares you have in your stomach or how big your boobs are, which is 90% of everyone on Tinder. I know there are some good guys and some good girls on there, but they rarely find each other in between all of the beauties and the beauty standards and stuff like that. So I am very doubtful of the effect of dating apps. But this movie decided to paint Tinder as the equivalent of hell within the dating landscape and the online dating landscape, and Bumble as the personification of heaven, basically. It's Bumble is everything that's good for life and Tinder is everything that's bad for life. And yes, I do approve of Bumble more than I do of Tinder, because Bumble at least has some meat to it more. It has some ideas that I genuinely approve of, with the girls being the one who texts first and stuff like that. I think that's a genius move. I think that is awesome. I think that it's very good to do, actually. And Tinder has some more things and is more money loving than any other dating app. And yeah, I do not approve of Tinder at all. But this movie really makes sure that it feels like Tinder is everything that's bad, and Tinder is everything that's awful. And of course, I can see why they would do that in a movie like this, in a movie that is talking about this, but I feel like that is also a little bit over-exaggerated. And I'm not talking about any of the topics that they handle in this movie, with everything going on behind the scenes, with everything of the employers and the bosses and the CEOs of Tinder. If everything that this movie showed us happened for real, bunch of assholes, lock them all up. But the app in and of itself, I feel like this side of the story was extremely one-sided, and I wanted to see more of the good and bad parts of both things instead of just the good things of one and the bad things of the other one, which is something that was making sure that this movie sometimes feels like a flowery version of what actually would have happened and what actually happened, instead of being the actual movification of the events that have taken place. It sometimes feels like this is a very fictionalized story because of that, and I really wanted to see more of both sides of the apps and stuff like that. Whitney Wolfe, again, extremely likable character. I really want to know more about her. I know we will never have more information on what actually happened because of the NDA enclosure, but the movie caught my interest enough to look up more information about it and how they are all doing and how she is coping with things like sexism, which is... I recommend you all to watch this movie. It's extremely important, and it tells you things about sexism extremely well, and things on the work floor, and things how fucked up they can be in not only 2014 when this movie plays, which is only 11 years ago, 12 years almost, but it's not even 15 years ago, but it still feels like it's very long ago because of how the world changed since that moment. But even though the world changed a lot, I do not think people changed with it. Making sure that problems that existed back then and the things that this movie talks about still happen to this day. So it's really important to know more about the problems of sexism and stuff like that. And I do feel like this movie explains problems like sexism extremely well, and I do think that the movie thrives upon on that idea, and I do really feel like this is an important movie just because of that alone. That being said, I still think this movie is a little bit too one-sided, but the great performance of Lily James, the great character, and the great values that this movie tries to give you make sure that this movie is actually really good, and you should definitely watch this. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it for free if you have Disney Plus, which means it's not for free, but you know what I mean. All right, in the end, I give this one 3.5 stars. What did you think of it? Please let me know in the comments down below, and I would like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.